For this last part of the tutorial, we're just going to clean up our API a little bit. First of all, we're going to sort out our enumeration because currently we have one enumeration and it's coming through as a number. And this is not a very nice way to expose a enumeration to users of our API. So what we're going to do is throw in a JSON converter on our enumeration type here. This will allow serialization and deserialization of the string rather than the enumeration. The problem we're going to see with this, however, is that it still comes through in our Swagger doc as a number. You can see over there file type 0. So the two problems we've now got is we'd have to put that tag on every enumeration and remember that, and it's not coming through in our Swagger doc. So instead what we're going to do is set the JSON objects on the MVC core builder, and what we'll do is we'll add a type converter, and we'll add the type converter of the enumeration string type directly inside our serialization settings. This will automatically set it for any enumerations that go over our API, and it will allow the Swagger doc to represent that as well. So Swashbuckle will pick it up automatically for us and produce that into our Swagger doc. So let's take a look once again. We'll get rid of that tag, we don't need it anymore. And we'll start it up, and you should see the example now, if we hit refresh, has one of our enumeration types in there. Perfect. So that's that. It's very simple, quick, and to the point. One nice way of cleaning things up. The next thing we're going to do is get rid of all these sync methods. We've got a lot of methods on our API. We've got async versions and sync versions. So if we look in the help for the auto rest command, you can see that there is a sync methods command underneath the code generators. So what we're going to do is run our generator again, and this time we're going to put sync methods none, and that should remove those from our interface. So let's go back and take a look at that in our code. So we'll stop our project here and open up our API, and you can see now we've only got the async methods. And a final check through the extensions as well as the API, async only. So that's halved the number of methods we've got in there. Now our methods are still a little bit ugly. We've still got .api and then user by username, get with, etc. On every one of those methods. So how are we going to go about getting rid of those? The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a Swagger operation tag to each one of our methods on our controllers. And in there, we're going to put a friendly name that will go out into our Swagger doc and therefore come out in our generated types. So in this case, we'll have get user by username, and we'll fix the capitalization of username there and down there as well. We will put Swagger operation again down the bottom, and this time we'll have get all users, and we'll just fix username in there as well, and start up our server again and run our command one more time. Go back over to our code, rebuild. Now you can see we've got a failing build because that method's gone, and if we have a look down the bottom, we've now got a get user by username async. So it's a much nicer method for our users of our APIs. And so what we'll do is we'll go and tag our other methods. So this will be get repo by username and repo name. And on our other method, we will have get all repos by username. And then we'll head over to our code coverage controller, and we'll call this put coverage file, process coverage file, and we'll call it put coverage file. So now we'll start our server again, run our code generation one more time, and if we head back, we should be able to now see in our API all our methods look a lot nicer. So now we've got get all repos by username, get all users, etc, etc. We've got the version with the HTTP message if you want to be able to see the result code coming back, and the version without the HTTP message. And that's about all for cleaning up our API for now. In our next tutorial, we are going to go through what happens when we want to break out some of our code into a separate service and how we deal with discovering that service and consuming that API. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.